Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here. Today I'm going to be doing a task that I have been putting off for a really long time. Now, the last time that you saw my TBR cart was when I did my bookshelf tour. She was looking cute, organized, all the things. She does not look like that anymore. It's gotten way out of hand, so I figured I would show you how I organize my TBR cart, and I'm going to be trying a new organization system today, so hopefully it sticks. But yes, I'm gonna warn you, is this a safe space? Y'all aren't gonna judge me for how my TBR cart looks? All right, let me bring it in. You see what I mean? I don't know, life happened, things got out of hand. Yeah, so I can't keep looking at this every day. It's stressing me out, so today is the day that I'm going to finally organize it. And how I want to do that first is to take off everything on here, because this last shelf doesn't even make sense. I've got like weird hobby arts and crafts stuff at the bottom. It doesn't belong there. It needs to go. So I'm gonna empty out this whole shelf and then start from scratch. Hello, special guest. She's like, what is going on over here? Thank you for joining me. Oh, big stretch, big stretch. Okay, bye. All right, she's empty. I haven't seen this cart empty since the day that it took me 2 hours to build it. That's a story for a different time. As you know, I do have long nails. I thought that I could build this very quickly. I was wrong, very wrong. Anywho, these are all of the books that I just took off. So, like I mentioned before, I think the release date system isn't really working for me because I am a mood reader. So I think what would be best for my TBR cart is to organize this by mood. So on the top shelf, I'm gonna have the books and the tropes and themes that I reach for the most here. Then I'm gonna have books that come out way later that, you know, maybe I can't, or I'm not in the mood for right now, that I might be in the mood for next month. And then this last one will just kind of be a free for all. Books that I just know I won't be reaching for anytime soon, I'll put that here so that like I can prioritize these top two shelves and not feel like I'm under some sort of like time frame, especially if I'm not in the mood for those things. So the genres and the themes I reach for the most are intergenerational stories. I love memoirs. I love young adult. I do love romance as well. I haven't been reading enough poetry so far this year, so I'm gonna put that up here to prioritize it. We'll start with those on the top shelf and see where we get to. Okay, so on the top shelf, I'm putting books that I'm excited to read in the next like couple of weeks, up until maybe March or April. So first things first, I know I talked about this already, but The Goddess Complex, I'm still trying to read that this month. We'll see. Then is Firstborn Girls, which I did talk about. So this would be my memoir that I want to read in the next couple of weeks. Got Bibliotherapy in the Bronx, put that there. That's my nonfiction that I want to read soon. Then I have this book, which is We Pretty Pieces of Flesh by Colwell Brown. It's about an exuberant and ribald, I don't know if I'm saying that right, debut novel about 3 adolescent girls as sweetly vulnerable as they are cunning and tough, coming of age in a gritty post-industrial town in 90s Yorkshire, England. It sounded really interesting and it comes out in March, so that's something that I want to read soon. First poetry collection is Late to the Search Party by Stephen Espada Dawson. It's described as a poetry collection exploring themes of family, addiction, belonging, and loss. Those are all things that I'm very interested in reading about. So I put that at my top. For something fun, got Detective Auntie, Courtroom Drama. These are my lighter reads. These both don't come out till May, but I can definitely see myself reaching for them soon. Then Casualties of Truth by Lauren Francis Sharma. I think this is out already, but this is one that I'm really looking forward to reading soon as well. So I'm gonna put this one at the top. We have The Wickedest by Caleb Femi. This is like a small, I don't know if I would consider it to be poetry. I guess so. I'm saying that because it has like pictures in it and it's about like the longest running house party in the South London. This is one that I've been trying to read, so I'm gonna put that up here so I can finally prioritize it. Another poetry collection that I want to read is Becoming Ghost by Kathy Lynn Che, so I'll put that here as well too. And then my YA books I'd like to prioritize in the next couple of weeks is All the Noise at Once by Deandra Davis. The main character is autistic and trying to navigate through that, so I was very interested in this one. It comes out in April. And then Under the Fading Sky, I think, was about vape addiction in teens. Yeah, it is about addiction. So really looking forward to reading this one. Another book that I'm really looking forward to is Vanishing World by Sayaka Murata. This is my first book by her, and it's described as a highly imaginative story set in a version of Japan where sex between married couples has vanished and where all children are born by artificial insemination. And the publisher sent it with this like petri dish of like the little baby dolls that's like on the cover. I thought that was very interesting, but I definitely want to read this soon. It also comes out April 15th. And then The Grand Scheme of Things by Rona J, which I've talked about before. I do want to pick this up in the next couple of weeks. Then The Family Recipe too. You know, I love an intergenerational story. This one was coming out, or is coming out April 1st. And since I have already read books coming out in June, it's clear that I don't care about release dates. So this shelf now reflects that these are the books that I really want to read like soon. I'm like thinking about them. So the top is full. So here's what the top shelf is looking like now. I can definitely see myself reaching for these in the next couple of weeks, so it'll be easily accessible. Now for the second shelf, I'm going to be putting books that I'm still equally excited about, but just not as excited as I am for the top shelf. But first is Crush by Ada Calhoun. I picked this one up because it's described as, or review says that it crushes, such a charged word, interrogates all that we think we know about love and soulmates, commitment and conviction, while tracking the long struggle to fully become oneself and do right. Very intrigued by this, so. And then we have Mazel Tov, which I've talked about before. This one comes out this month. I don't think I'll have time to reach for it this month, but still very interested in it. And I've already talked about Archive of Unknown Universes. Even though this one doesn't come out until July, I can see myself picking it up way before then. And then I have I'll Love You Forever, which is a nonfiction about K-pop idols and just K-pop stardom in general, I think. In a meditation that blends memoir and cultural criticism to explore how the author's love affair with K-pop has shaped her sense of self, charting K-pop's complex coming of age through some of its biggest idols. Yeah, very interested in K-pop idols and their fan base, so I'm really looking forward to reading that one, so that'll be my nonfiction for sure. I am also interested in reading this one, Saving Five. It's a memoir on assault, sexual assault, and Amanda Wynn is an activist, and she's also a sexual assault survivor, and so this is about her life navigating through that, and just I think about how the country navigates around sexual assault, so definitely interested in reading that one. Then we have The Original Daughter, which I have talked about before. This is another intergenerational story, and as you know, I do love these. This one doesn't come out until May 6th, so definitely see myself picking that up soon. Then we have Boat Baby as well, which is another memoir. Definitely going to be picking that one up at some point for sure. I've been really wanting to pick up Gold Coast Dilemma as well. So this is a romance. So this one definitely will be something I pick up in a few weeks maybe. Then another memoir that I've been really excited about. Actually, low-key, I think I'm gonna put this on the top shelf, but it's about a mother-daughter relationship across cycles of poverty, separation, and illness, exploring how we forge identity in the face of imminent loss. Yeah, I've been actually really wanting to read this one, so I'm just gonna slide that one in the top. Next is Under the Neon Lights. This also doesn't come out until July, but I'm really excited to read this one. So this is another young adult that I could see myself reading in a couple of weeks. Then we have The Payback, which comes out also in July. This one was so interesting sounding. It's described as when Jada Williams is relentlessly pursued by the debt police, she's left with no choice but to take down her student loan company with the help of two mall co-workers. I mean, does that not sell you? So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to picking that one up soon. And I just received this one in the mail recently. It's The Devil Three Times by Ricky Fain. And it has these types of edges, which some people hate, I personally love. I just think it's great. But well, this is a book that covers like the Black diaspora in general. It sounds like there's some themes of spirituality in it as well too. So I'm very much so looking forward to reading this one. I can see myself reading that one in like maybe March. I've talked about Small Ceremonies as well, and I can see myself picking it up soon. So I'll put that here where it's easily accessible. Dirty Kitchen as well too. I feel like this is like my memoir shelf. There's a lot of memoirs coming out in March, but yeah. Let's see, what else would I add to that? Oh, I would add this one. Very intrigued by it. This is Aftertaste. It comes out in May. Combining the magic of Under the Whispering Door with the high-stakes culinary world of Sweet Bitter, Aftertaste is an epic love story and a dark comedy about a man who reunites people with their deceased loved ones, at least for the time it takes to eat one meal. That's kind of crazy. I forgot how insane this premise sounded. So yeah, I'll definitely be picking that one up soon. So yeah, that's the second shelf. And then let's move on to the third. Okay, the last shelf. We've got This Is Not a Game by Kelly Mullen. This is described as a unique locker room debut with a memorable intergenerational relationship and gaming angle. I'm curious about this one, but I don't see myself picking it up anytime soon, and that comes out April 8th. Next we have Rooms for Vanishing. I didn't realize this book is thick. This one is described as a prismatic, mind-bending epic about the splintering of a Jewish family from Vienna, exploring the weight of exile and how grief twists our sense of the impossible. Again, very intriguing. I don't see myself picking this up for a while. That comes out in March. And then I think I've talked about this before, or maybe I haven't, but this is Joy Goddess by Alelia Walker. It's a vibrant, deeply researched biography of Alelia Walker, daughter of Madam C.J. Walker, and herself a central figure of the Harlem Renaissance, written by her great-granddaughter. I love reading about the Harlem Renaissance. I mean, I guess who doesn't? But I'm very curious to see what her story was and what her journey was. This is one that I'm very interested in, but I think I'm just reading too many other like memoirs and biographies in the next couple of weeks, so I'm just gonna put that one here for now, but probably read it soon. Then I'm gonna add Going Home, which I think I've talked about here before, but it's a sparkling, funny, big-hearted story of family and what happens when three men, all of whom are completely ill-suited for fatherhood, take charge of a toddler following an unexpected loss. It sounds very interesting. I just don't think I'll be picking it up anytime soon, so I'll just put that there. Next is Crown by Avanthia Bromley. This one also sounded interesting. It's a debut novel tracking 3 days leading up to the eviction of a single mother and her 9-year-old twin from a trailer park in the American Southwest. Again, those are stories that I'm usually really drawn to. I just don't have the time for it in the next couple of weeks, but this is out on June 17th and I'll probably read it before then, so I'll put that there. Then we have Metallic Realms by Lincoln Mitchell. This comes out May 13th. It's described as a wildly inventive and entertaining novel about a sci-fi writing group whose fictional universe and personal dramas begin to collide and collapse from the critically acclaimed author of The Body Scout and the popular Substack. It sounds really interesting. I feel like there's a lot of books that are coming out that are like fantasy, science-y, but like speculative in regards to the world that we live in right now. So I was really drawn to that one and the cover's cool. Then we have Creep by Emma Van Straten. From a blistering new voice in dark literary fiction, an unsettling portrait of loneliness, obsession, and identity that asks if a stranger was left alone in your house, how well could that person get to know you? Enough to fall in love with you? Sounded pretty creepy, as the title states. I was very intrigued by the premise of it. I just don't think I'll have enough time to get to it in the next couple of weeks. Then there's Who I Always Was by Teresa Okokun. This is a honest memoir and essays, and it's set out to answer the universal question of why am I like this? I started reading this one, but I wasn't in the headspace for it, so I paused. So I'll be putting it here because I definitely want to pick it back up at some point, but I just paused. Oh, another reason why I was drawn to it, I don't know if this is like a specifically like a Nigerian thing or an African thing, but this van is so like 90s Nigerian family. It was like shocking and maybe triggering to see it as a book cover, but like most big Nigerian families, they drove this exact little van everywhere. So I love that she added that to the cover because it's just so particular. And I don't know if other cultures, families prioritize that car in the 90s too, but yeah, I saw that and was like, whoa. And then next is a book that has come out that is getting a lot of buzz right now. It's Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein. It's about a young enslaved girl who faces a life-altering decision navigating love, friendship, and her sister's ghost as the Civil War looms in this radiant debut. I started it and I was like, I am not in the headspace for this at all. But I do want to read it, so I'm gonna put it down here and hopefully it'll make its way to me soon. But yeah, doesn't this already look so much better? Like, I feel like I can think again. I feel like I can breathe again. But yeah, this is it. I feel like this is a system I'm gonna stick with for sure. Oh, thank you so much for joining me and let me be honest about my TBR card. Everything is not always organized over on this side. And sometimes it can be really difficult to like make sure that I'm keeping track of like the books I receive and the books that I buy and all of this other stuff. And that was the main purpose of starting my TBR cart, was to have a place to put my advanced copies and just like books I'm really interested in. And somewhere along the lines this year, I just kind of like let it go and it got real bad. But yes, I think this system is going to work for me personally because I am a mood reader. And I just know that like if I just try to follow the like when things are going to be released timeline, I'm probably just going to avoid it entirely. So, you know, for the top shelf, like I mentioned, we've got some like family stories in here. We've got some young adult, we've got addiction, we've got poetry, we have memoir, we have a nonfiction, we've got literary, we've got contemporary, all the things that I love. And then on the second shelf, the same. Memoir, lots of memoir on this shelf. We've got some magical realism, we've got relationship stuffs, we've got family issues again, we've got romance, we have young adult, just all the things that I know that I'll be drawn to. So yeah, I think this is a system that I'm going to stick with for the foreseeable future. If there's any books that you are curious about or that you also have that you're trying to maybe read soon, let me know. And if you also have a TBR system that you enjoy that really works for you, I'm also interested in hearing more about that because maybe the system works for me right now and then maybe at some point it won't work for me anymore and I have to find something else. So I'm welcome to all ideas, but this was much needed and I'm so glad it's all organized and pretty now. Thank you so much for organizing with me today and being here. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you and I'll see you in the next one.